Prior to the music break, I did mention that we'll be talking about a very important and an interesting topic when it comes to communication, when it comes to communication in the media sector, when it comes to the social studies, how it really impacts, what impact does it have on the current generation. So talk about all those, we have with us today Dr. Madhubhashini Galagedarage, the Senior Lecturer in Media and Communication Studies, and also from the Department of Social Studies, Open University of Sri Lanka. A very good morning to Madhubhashini. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Right, Madhubhashini, to start things off, now communication is something which plays a pivotal role in our day-to-day lives, let it be in media or let it be in our normal day-to-day lives. So, how important is communication in our day-to-day lives?
Yes, communication plays a significant role in our day-to-day lives. Before identifying the significance or importance of communication, I think it's better to understand what is communication. Communication means transmission of information, data, feelings, emotions, facts, and etc. from one person or group to another or others. In that sense, I do communicate my knowledge, information, data, facts related to this particular topic as a communicator to the receivers, to the audience. In this communication process, I do use verbal and non-verbal communication. In other words, apart from words, facial expressions, gestures, body movements, hand movements, and etc. are used to emphasize message to the audience. Another example is communication within our family. That is also very important. Imagine if you make arguments or else you use rude and harsh words to your family members. Do you think it's easy for you to maintain a healthy relationship with your family members? It's very difficult. Right? Now, another example is, now we all are working in office environments. Right? Now, for instance, if you are a head of the institution or a university or company, the communication is very, very important. You have to have very, very good communication skills to maintain very healthy and positive relationship with your working colleagues or else with your staff members. When you use very positive communication skills and attitudes towards your office colleagues, it's very easy for you to develop or create good image of yours among your staff members. By looking at all these examples, we can understand that communication is very, very important in our day-to-day lives.
Absolutely true, and I think a lot of people do understand, because in certain instances non-verbal communication plays a huge role, because you tend to make a gesture through probably some sort of a sign, or maybe just by looking at someone. Eye contact makes a huge communication. So there is so much to it. It's not just what you verbally say, but how much of a role does media play in society?
Yes, media has a big role to play in our society. Before talking about the role of communication, I think it's better to understand why do audience use media? What is the purpose? For what purpose audience use media? That is for education, entertainment, information, and motivation. Now, as human beings, we really want to get to know what is happening around us. That's why we follow news. When it's come to education, some media contents offers different educational programs, telecast different educational programs such as documentaries, some teledramas, even advertisements. For instance, I know even on Channel I, there are some educational documentaries on different issues such as new innovation, ICT, environmental issues, health issues, and etc. Now, when it's come to education, as human beings, we need some relaxation. And we really want to get some entertainment. Maybe through some entertainment programs, such as musical programs. Motivation is also a very, very important purpose. Now, media as a social change agent, it's very important to create a public opinion among communities. Now imagine, media can motivate people to protect the environment through their different media content. And apart from that, watchdog function is also very important. Now in Sri Lanka, some people were affected by different natural and man-made disasters. These people still stay in some temporary camps, some temporary residence or some temporary places. Now it's a responsibility of government and the media to raise these issues and somehow try to get action to overcome these issues. And also the media is responsible to monitor and evaluate these issues and bring the attention of government to sort out these issues. Those are the functions of media. By looking at all these examples, we can realize that media has a big role to play in this society at local and international level.
Yes, so media is definitely a form of communication, I would say a very effective form of communication to pass any sort of message across, like you said, Madhubhashini. So also now, when it comes to the latest trends, how do you see the social media in the 21st century?
Yes, now we are in an information society. Alvin Toffler, a communication expert, mentions that there are 3 eras in our history due to this new technology. The one is agricultural age, the other one is industrial, the third one is information society. Now we are in information society because of the development of the new technology. Information is the main tool in this society. Internet, smart mobile phones, wireless communication devices are considered as new media. Now, when it's come to new media, we can realize that the communication is very easy and very quick among people on social media. And there are 2 arguments on new media and social media. The one argument is technology connects people all around the world. Marshall McLuhan has introduced global village concept. And then this concept explains that technology really can connect and bring all the people together because of this new technology. The other argument is there is a divide among information poor and information rich due to this information technology. Right. When it's come to social media, actually we can easily connect with any person all around the world on these social media. Chat apps such as Imo, Viber, WhatsApp are very popular among younger generation. Not only text, even videos, audios can be shared on these social media platforms. It's very, very important. Not only for communication purposes, but only for and as well as for education, health, business, traveling, and all these purposes, new media and social media. The new media is a part of the social media is coming under new media, and new media can be used for those purposes as well. Now, I am an academic at the Open University. As you know, ODL, Open Distance Education, Learning and Online Learning, e-learning, are promoted by the Open University. Some courses are offered online. Students can ask many queries, questions from us on that online platform. Assignments can be submitted and we are there to help them. We are there to give the feedback to our students. Apart from those examples, even Sri Lankan students can complete and can follow some online degree programs offered by different foreign universities, not only for those purposes. Actually, even e-banking, e-channeling, e-ticket booking, and these stuffs are also quite popular among younger generation in Sri Lanka. I did my PhD in new technology and new media, and I found that compared to other social media, Facebook is quite popular among younger generation in our country. What they do is they just expose their personal experience and pictures and videos, all these things on social media, especially on social media. Actually, these are the new trends of new media and social media in our country. Even when we look at some international experience also, we can realize that new media such as social media made a huge change in our society.
But Doc, looking at all of this, as you say, there is so much that happens around the globe, not just in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is just catching up with ICT if you're really looking at it. But it has had its consequences also. If you go back into last February when the whole Candy episode happened, we had to basically interrupt the internet in Sri Lanka for a few days just to curb the herds going around, and the spread of unwanted news was becoming a bit of a nuisance. But as you said, the younger generation is getting more and more into Facebook, and Instagram has become such a thing that a lot of pictures and images have been shared along, and that has given way to unwanted things also spreading. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? What's going on?
Actually, as you said, of course, there are disadvantages of new media as well. It's like the two sides of the same coin. We can identify the disadvantages as well as the disadvantages of new media. Now, some foreign universities have conducted some research on social media and new media as well. According to those research findings, new media limits face-to-face communication. Face-to-face communication is very, very important. Now imagine I'm having a face-to-face communication with both of you. It's very, very effective. I can use verbal and non-verbal communication, right? It plays an important role in our communication process. But when it's come to social media, the face-to-face communication is lacking. In that case, social media limits social ties and increases virtual ties because we are always in the virtual world, cyber world. And that leads to social isolation and depression according to the research findings. That is also one of their disadvantages. Other disadvantage is, as I said, there is a divide among information rich and information poor due to this new technology. That is called digital divide. Some people, they are having all these new technologies. They have access to all these new technologies. But especially, even in our country, rural communities, they don't have access to new technologies due to various reasons. Maybe they have lack of ICT and social infrastructural facilities in their areas. Sometimes they have low computer literacy or English language barrier, and also maybe attitudinal issues. Those issues should be overcome with the support of the government or any other responsible organizations. Apart from these advantages, cyber crimes, cyber harassments, cyberbullying, pornography are also considered as issues of new media according to these research findings. Now, how many school girls committed suicide since their nude photographs were shared on online platforms? It's a terrible situation in Sri Lanka. As Sri Lankans, we all face this situation. Our students should be educated to identify what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, how to use new media for the education and other purposes wisely and efficiently. And also some adults, some parents, they are scared of letting their children to access new media. These are the disadvantages of social media.
Yes, so when you look at the world now, the world has been evolving over the past couple of years and over time. And then even the kids nowadays, when we see, let it be like 2 years, 3 years, at their very young age, they start using the social media, and sometimes they are way more advanced than adult person could be, could be using social media. But like you said, Madhubhashini, I think anything has its own pros and cons. So it's pretty much how you educate yourself to use the social platform. So along with that, now when you talk about these new social trends, how could you really incorporate this with the mainstream media for the betterment of the society? Because like you said, the society is facing sometimes major disasters with regards to social media because of the issues that we are facing with regards to that. How could you use this, incorporate this for the betterment of the society?
Electronic media and print media are considered as mainstream media. Internet, smart mobile phones, and some other online devices, wireless devices, are considered as new media. How are you going to incorporate this new media and mainstream media for the betterment of the society? That is the problem. We can find some examples at local and international level. Some example can be found actually. But when it comes to Sri Lanka, of course there are some examples, but we have to incorporate more new media and mainstream media for the betterment of the society. One example is, I remember, there was a project called Kotmale Community Radio Internet Project, introduced by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation with support of UNESCO in 1990s, if I'm not mistaken. Now, unfortunately, that project is not functioning right now, but it was very, very successful project. Now, as we know, community radio is ran by its own community. Suppose they have some issues related to agriculture, maybe health issues, maybe environmental issues, right? What they did was, they just find the information, facts, data related to all these issues, right, on internet, and those information, details, data were shared with community on community radio programs. It was very, very successful project at that time. Unfortunately, we don't have that example right now to empower our rural community in Sri Lanka. The other example is, as we know, most of the television and radio channels, they have their own websites, Facebook pages, maybe online streaming, right? I still remember when I did a research in last year. I wanted to get some news content, right? Now I wanted to contact all these TV channels, but when I realized that all the news videos are available online, it was quite easy for me to analyze all this news for my research purpose, right? That's how we can incorporate mainstream media and new media for the betterment of our society. Apart from that, now imagine if I have a mobile phone, I can read news articles and I can watch some films, maybe television programs, and listen to some radio programs. And I can use my mobile phone for different purposes. That much technology is developed nowadays. Apart from that, even citizens can be journalists. That's what we discussed under citizen journalism. That much technology is developed these days. And also I just realized that some music charts and some music programs have their own Facebook page and Twitter accounts and all these Instagram page and all these things. What they do is, some presenters, they just read out FB messages, right? And during the program, as well as FB messages and normal messages are displayed on TV screen. That's how we can incorporate and combine these two media for the betterment of our audience or society. I think these are very good examples.
Pretty much the case, and I think we've got quite a lot of information as to how life is run and how much of technology taken over. It's restricted, as Madhubhashini very clearly mentioned, it's restricted us from face-to-face contact with people, the expressions of what we do, because we tend to see in certain instances, especially with the younger generation, even when you talk to them, they won't look at your face, because making eye contact has become that much more minimal with the availability of technology and availability of information. So whilst thanking Madhubhashini for being with us and sharing her expertise in the field that she speaks about information technology and its use in media and how much of an impact it could be created, there is so much for everyone out there to learn from, and I think take the best out of, because as always in any case there's pros and cons. It's always good to look at the positives, take what's important and move forward, because we as society got to move forward in life, and as a country we need to move forward as well, because I feel we are still behind time and there's so much for us to catch up on as well. It's our duty to thank Madhubhashini for being, so it's been a pleasure having you on the show, ma'am. It's time for Vidhu and I to say goodbye on Tuesday edition of Rise and Shine. See you same time tomorrow as well. It's bye-bye from us.